Well, this is Baruch here, and I'm at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and it's time for the shir on Kriya Shema. So, for those of you who are really serious about davening, this is the place where you have to plug in because the Kriya Shema is really crucial in terms of bringing us the enlightenment of Hashem that we seek. So, over here, we're getting to a new area, and let's see what he says. So he says, "Achiduk Asheni Nimshach Minakaidim." So I'm really a little lost about that. Let me see. We're over here. Let me get the page. It's on page Kuf Kafov. And I do recommend to anyone who was actually able to work with this book or these books, these from the TIV, get them. They're not that expensive, but the thing is that it keeps him going. I don't know. He's not a youngster anymore, so I really don't know how much more he could produce, but he has tremendous things out there for us. So it says, "Achiduk Asheni Nimshach Minakaidim." So we had the first chiluk was, I think he meant on the word Yisroel. Then we went through the four different times in which we say the Kriya Shema. And the magic word Yisroel is a tremendous effect because it brings in Mochin the Katnas. And Mochin the Katnas are a preliminary to Mochin the Godless. Because now let's go to Kriya Shema de Yotze. That's the one after Baruch. It's necessary to have kavanah for the word echad. So what you want to do, this word shalev, let's see, where was it? The shalev, it's down here. Shalev is a shilav, means a combination of letters, which represents a yichud, of taking opposites and putting them together into one idea. I saw I really heard a little word from Rabbi Mimran today. He was thinking with Yaakov. He was back there in previous parsha, but he was talking about why do the rocks need to come together? So the rocks were fighting amongst each other, and they come out and made themselves into one. So then the concept of joining things together is really important by itself. So he says you're putting together the shalev shem havaya b'shem akeh b'yachad. Asher so the Hebrew Abba v'Ima, so havaya represents Abba. And Ima is represented by the name Akir. Then after that, there's of course a Havaya of Yudin, which is Yud Vav Dalet K Yud Vav Aleph Vav K Yud. Excuse me, I said it wrong. Yud Vav Dalet K Yud Vav K Yud. That's all those Yuds. It comes out Gematria 72. So the Tipa says there. Now, what is this? This is the secret of the drop of seed, the kernel of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu that is coming to us, Hayotze Me'Abba, the Ima that comes from Abba, goes into Ima, Asher Bo Kolula Mamochin Zer Anpin, that within this Tipa are incorporated the Mochin of Zer Anpin B'Yachad Ba'ozach HaVavaya together in that Havaya itself. Now let's see what he meant by that. So we'll go over here and we'll find number Ayin Gimel in the Tiva Gavon. He says the Tiva Gavon writes, "Hachidok Hasheni sheyesh ba'arbecha b'nei Kriya Shema toloi b'chidok harishon b'chashini hu b'bechinas echad b'tevis echad." Now, when you say the tevis echad, now we're going to maybe talk about this a little bit. The Lukaman Biyar Harab shebetevis echad later on. So we've seen this over and over and over again, that the real shefa has to come as a result of making a yichud down below. That is, when husband and wife are together in a kedushadik way here, that's the basis. If you can find a way to make black and white go together, if you can make a way to make up and down go together, or right and left go together, that's the same idea. It's to bring all these things into oneness. He says, and how do they do this? When they come together, then they realize all the things that they need, and they pray, or they scream out, or what's the right word? They call out to Abba V'Ima to help. And Abba V'Ima, in order to help, have to make a yichud themselves. So they make a yichud, and the shefa comes down then to Zocher Banok. Tzarech L'kavin the zivug at L'zaveg es Abba V'Ima. So the idea here is this man causes a yichud of Abba V'Ima. Va'abahu Shemah by Pashut B'limihu. So you want to know who Abba is? So the name Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, just by itself, without spelling it out in any way, that refers to Abba. Be'imahi Shem Akia Pashut. Now, Ima is the name Akia. The name Akia Pashut, just a simple Pashut. So we have these two. We have 26 and we have 21. Those are gematrias, which come out to be 47, but it's not the point here. Gavanas Hazivoku, so what you're doing is you're putting them together, Al Yadeshu, Mekuban and the Shalit. So how do you do this? You have a kavana to tie together as a Shnei Shemas Kadoshim, two holy names. Behind the Chavaya Va'akia. So this is the Chavaya Peshuta, which is Abba, and the Akia Peshuta, which is Ima. So he says Os Merabaya im Os Me'akia Kazes, and then he shows you this is what the Shilov looks like. So if you look in the Rishash City, you see it all over. Or this is not all over, but Shiluvim. Amorid Abba Mad. So what happens then? So you have two actions. The action of Abba is always from the top to the bottom, and it's called Mayim Duchrin, male waters. Shehu Tipa Zroyis, which actually contains the Tipa itself, the Ein Sof. Shehu Shem Av Chavavai de Milu Yudin. And so he says that this Tipa itself, I'm not sure, let me read again. The Morid Abba Mat. So he brings out Shehu Tipa Zroyis. And what does the Tipa Zroyis mean? The Tipa Zroyis means the drop of seed. The seed meaning the kernel of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu that we are bringing down. Shehu Shem Av Havaya de Milu Yud Kazet. So it's an Av, it's a Milu Havaya. Yud K Vav K. So he says Yud K Vav K, that's what it looks like. B'Shem Av Hanal, so that's the B'Shem Al, Kaluvin Kol Mochin the Zer Anpin. So in this one name, all of the Mochin that eventually come to the Zer Anpin, because it said this is the Tipa Zeroyas. This has all the Mochim. Now, what's the Mochim? The Mochim is the energy source that's coming from these Mochim, the godless. I wanted to say Mochim of consciousness. Yud K Vav K, B'Shem Ava now. Kululim call the Mochim Nisah. So in it, all of the Mochim that are going to Zer Anpin are there. But notice the Ima, and they're given over to Ima. The B'Shem Avaya now. Shemah Chiluch Hasheni, which is the second differentiation. Moshech Abba Hashem Ab. So where is he getting the name Ab from? What is Chochma? Abba's Chochma. Where is he getting all of this Tipa Zeroyis? Shulchan Mocher Shazer Anpin. Zat Tali Bechiluk Harishon. So it really depends. The quality, I guess he's saying, the quality of the Tipa can change. It depends on the Chiluk Harishon Sheim Koyel Lezecha B'Kol HaMochen Dekatas. So remember, this is a principle that we have to learn. That before you can have Mochen the godless, you have Mochen the katas. What does this mean? You have to realize who you are, where you are, and make an effort to be able to join together Zocher v'Nog, opposites, to be able to try to come closer to Hashem through His mitzvahs and His Torah, and bring that together, and those things actually represent Zocher v'Nog. So then you're coming over here, and you're saying that once you can do those things, then this is Ma'alaman to Abba Ve'ima, and Abba Ve'ima now going to start to bring down the Tipa Zeroyas from Abba is going to go into Ima. And what did he say? Because the first condition is that Zah is lacking his Mochen Dekatnas. So before, what is Mochen Dekatnas? And I've said this many times, and this is my opinion. Mochen Dekatnas really represents your needs, your bare needs, that you're raw, the things you're afraid of, the things that your panasa that you need for your children, all of these things, they have to be put together and offered up to Hashem for assistance. This is Mayim Nukvin, Be'ez Ha'alas Mayim Nukvin. And so all of this katnas, when you bring up the Mayim Nukvin, in other words, the prayer that comes from katnas, Az Hayat Kochel Chazak. So if you get all of the prayer, all of the Mocha the katnas in, then you're really going to have a prayer that's really going to be something powerful. So therefore, Abba is pulling down these mochim from a place which is extremely high. Now, let's understand this. If all of the mochim are present, the mochim de katnas are all present, and all of the pleas and all the desires, the wants that come with Malchut Dekatnis, if they're offered up to Hashem as Mayim Nukvin, that happens on the word Echad. But if he doesn't have all of the Mochin, the Malchut Dekatnis, then the power within it is going to be weaker. So this is like I say, it's like you could the more you load the action will be pushed down and depressed by more and more of the cotness that comes into it, depending on the amount of cotness. Let's say it's a barrel of a gun that you squeeze into that barrel, then the greater the shot will be according to the energy that's in it. The energy obviously is coming from the Malchut Dekatnis. So therefore he's able to bring it down to a place which is lower in the world. That's a shir here today, learning a little bit more about the concept of what we have to do with Malchut Dekatnis in the 4 different times that we say the Kriat Shema. This is Baruch Fleischer.